Hi team, this is Jen Reichel and I'm here to share some important information that will help set the stage for your continuous improvement this year. Earlier this summer, I asked principals to invite a group of staff representing various grade levels and content areas to a half-day planning session that took place on August 17th. Our overarching goals for that day were to walk away understanding the big picture context for our goals, have building teams draft academic goals for the 16-17 school year, begin to outline a meaningful plan to work toward those goals, and define their communication plan to help the staff who were not at our workday to see their part in the continuous improvement efforts, including supporting colleagues as they develop PLC and IGDP goals. The purpose of this video is to share a common message of the state expectations and the work that various groups across the district have done to intentionally create opportunities for meaningful continuous improvement goals for everyone. To begin, every school district is required to create goals in 5 areas determined by the state in their initiative called World's Best Workforce. In order to be compliant, each district needs to create goals and plans to make progress toward these overarching state goals. All children are ready for kindergarten. All 3rd graders can read at grade level. All achievement gaps between student groups are closed. All students are ready for college and career. All students graduate from high school. There's an understanding that the state goals are what Jim Collins, in his book From Good to Great, labels big, hairy, audacious goals. Leaders at MDE recognize that while it's not realistic to achieve these goals anytime soon, when each district makes consistent, positive steps, then as a state, we will make progress toward those goals. As a staff development committee, we looked at the state expectations and contemplated how we could craft district goals that could meaningfully support day-to-day work with our students. Here's what we came up with. Academically ready for kindergarten, proficient in reading, closing the achievement gap, college and career readiness, and students graduating from high school. Take a moment to consider this question. What do we, as a team, as a group that we're in right now, what do we need to understand better in order to make meaningful progress toward these goals? Please push pause and resume the video when you're ready to move on. Hopefully, you've articulated your questions regarding the World's Best Workforce goals. Check in with your leadership team with any questions, and if you need more guidance, I'm happy to meet with you, your team, or your staff to help you better understand. World's Best Workforce is the state's big continuous improvement initiative. Historically, the state also required staff development goals and a report outlining the goals and the results to be submitted each year. In the most recent legislative session, the requirements changed and there's no longer an expectation to submit that report. Nevertheless, we're planning to continue to write goals and monitor our progress. The staff development team used the World's Best Workforce goals as a springboard for our district staff development goals, which, while they focus on supporting student growth, they are worded in teacher pedagogy. The staff development team worked diligently to ensure that every staff member could use at least one of these goals as a catalyst to create a worthy PLC and IGDP goal, and I think the group did an excellent job. Take a look at the goals we wrote. The first is about measurements related to their assignment. The next is about supporting the unique needs of atypical learners. The third is about college and career readiness. The fourth is about student engagement. And finally, the last one is about collaborating independently and together around PLC and IGDP goals. You'll see the goals are intentionally broad, not focused on specific test data, and are thoughtful that our colleagues work in a variety of ways to help students be successful. Take a moment to consider what you may need to understand better in order to make progress toward one or more of these goals. Press pause to discuss and resume when you're ready. I'm hopeful that as you look at both the World's Best Workforce goals and the district staff development goals, that you'll see a place you're excited to connect with in order to do some action research this year. I asked teams as they left the large group to engage in building specific discussions to work toward achieving 3 goals that I outlined at the beginning of this presentation. Create some building academic goals, specifically 1 reading, 1 math, and at least 1 other. Then they were asked to brainstorm and draft some action steps that the school collectively could engage in to make progress toward the goals. And finally, the teams were asked to articulate their next steps to include a communication plan for the staff. As we near closure of the big picture explanation, it's important to understand that we want to make sure that the World's Best Workforce and staff development goals are a springboard to building goals, and staff may create PLC and IGDP goals that align with building and/or district goal areas. While many staff will choose to align their PLC and IGDP goals, it's not a requirement. Consider this your invitation to explore an area of interest for your IGDP that you feel has potential to influence positive change for students, and work on your own self-directed action research project. The ultimate goal of the work we're engaging in is to focus on continuous improvement that can be seen in the day-to-day interactions with students. Please reach out to me with any questions, comments, or ideas. Mary and I are here to support you as you continue on your journey of professional growth.